Hi guys, okay, so I have had this requested so many times and I promised I would make a video about it, and that is our homeschool resources. So first off, if you're watching this and you're not familiar with our channel or like our homeschooling background, we're not real homeschoolers. My 6-year-old is in kindergarten, she is at public school. My 4-year-old will be going to kindergarten at public school. We are, when we say homeschooling, we're doing more, it's more the toddler and preschool years. We didn't send our kids to actual preschool. We did that work. And so, like we, you know, taught our 6-year-old, she knew how to read. She was reading like early chapter books by the time she started kindergarten. My 4-year-old is on his way to being at that point. We're hoping by this summer he's there. And then we're just working with my 2-year-old, and so yeah, and then we do math and we just do some things like that. And so the thing is that when people ask me my resources, the only real resource we have that's like solid, or there's 2 of them. And one of them is the book Teach Your Kid to Read in 100 Easy Lessons, 100 Lessons, I don't remember. I will put the link down below. People ask me about that book every day, I swear. Every single day people are like, what is that book that you used to teach Sophie to read and then Grayson choosing? Like every day. It is the most amazing magical book. I love it. Sophie and Grayson are very different levels, learn very differently, and it's worked for both of them. It is just such a great book, and really it's a great book for the parent, because what we liked about it, seriously, is it really helped us have a curriculum and a method to teach them. We looked at a ton of programs, and this was the one we thought sounded like the best one, not just for the kid, but for the parent, because it's got to work for you to be able to teach them, or you're not, you know, or it doesn't matter if like the kid likes it. You've got to be able to like teach it, you know what I mean? And we have not regretted it once. Like we have just, oh my, I cannot recommend that book enough. So that is a resource we use, and I highly recommend. I won't get into the details of it. You can go and look it up yourself and kind of see, but just my favorite thing is how it just sets the lessons up for us as a parent. It gives us a way to teach them to read. It helps. It just really does help. It's a great resource. The other thing we use regularly is an app that we put on their iPads, and it is called Splash Math. And it is a really great program. What we like, it actually emails us with their updates on how they're doing and their score, so we know how they're progressing. It lets you kind of know what level they're at, like if they are at, you know, 1st grade level or whatever, it lets you know. And again, what I like about it is it really gives me as the parent an idea of what my kid should be learning when. And it like, the lessons are just there. So what I do is like some of the lessons, Sophie or Grayson, they might want no help or need no help, and they just like to do it. And then we can monitor how they're doing at it, how well they've done, blah, blah, how long it took. We get to monitor that. But sometimes like I actually help them, like with Sophia, oh, I don't know, a few months ago or whenever it was, we were working with word math problems that involved money, and they also involved like, you know, addition, subtraction, and some multiplication. They were just pretty complicated. So I sat with her and we did the lessons, and the thing that's cool about this app, Splash Math, is that they actually give the child like work paper, so they can like scratch paper, so they can like, you know, write out like to do the work, you know what I mean? Which is really a good idea. But we did it on paper, so I do it with her, and I actually enjoy teaching math to particularly Sophia, just because she's at that higher level math. Like we've moved into 4th grade level math now. We're doing, and she doesn't get any of that in kindergarten. And so it's just made it really easy for me to work with her. And I love that. And so those are and then Grayson, it's the same thing with Grayson. It's doing a great job with him. He's definitely, I think he's moved past kindergarten math at this point. He's not even in kindergarten yet. And it's not, I mean, of course I'm their mom. I think my kids are brilliant, but really I think it's just that we're putting the time in with them. And really at the end of the day, that's the only resource I think you really need. Now, obviously, if you are really homeschooling, like you're homeschooling your school age children, you definitely need a curriculum, I would think, but I'm not the right person to ask about those resources because I haven't done that. So all I can do is tell you about like the early education resources, and those are the only kind of solid, concrete things we did. And then in addition to those, we just use workbooks and we don't favor any particular brand. You can go to like Toys R Us, believe it or not, that sounds like a weird place, but Toys R Us, also Teacher supply stores and bookstores, and sometimes even like Target, they will actually have lesson books, and they'll tell you what grades they're for, and there'll be some are penmanship and some are math and some are whatever. So we would just always pick up the age appropriate books like that when we would find them, and we would just use those too to work on, like I said, like actual penmanship or whatever, you know, like that's what we did. And we also really like using flashcards. Again, I don't have a particular brand I love, but flashcards are really good for especially like your 2-year-old, like Audrey. Like we work on letter recognition all the time with her, and she is so good at letter recognition. I was wearing a shirt that said Sunday Fun Day, and she correctly identified every single letter. And I use flashcards with her, so obviously it's working, you know what I mean? So there's nothing special, it's just flashcards. And the flashcards that for her, they have the big letter and the little letter, and then they just have a picture on the back that's like what the letter starts with to kind of give them a clue, you know, so it might be like an ant, so they can be like, oh, it's an A. But we're not working on like the phonetics of it with her yet or anything, you know what I mean? But then there's also flashcards out there that are like phonetic flashcards where they're putting sounds together, but that Teach Your Kid to Read in 100 Lessons book has that in there, so. So yeah, there you guys go. That is why like I haven't really done a whole video, because we're not homeschoolers in the way I think some people like are hoping to get information from me about. Like we don't do that. I probably will one day. I'll put links below to like our school update video where I talk about our future plans with schooling and like our thoughts and our feelings about it and blah blah blah. But yeah, there we go. Those are the resources we use. I will put them below. And mainly, I think the most important research, like I've already said this, it's your time. You got to put time into your kids' education if you want them to do things. Like you can't just expect it to happen. It's like potty training. Like I am potty training my 2-year-old, and she's really not potty trained that well yet. And it's really kind of been because I haven't been taking the time to do it, because it's just, it's a kind of, you know, it's frustrating and it's whatever, but she's never going to be potty trained if I'm not there helping her. And it's the same with all of these things. They're never going to read. They're not going to be good at math. And the thing is like with us, like I really, it was really important to me and Kyle that the kids liked to learn, because research after research after research that you can find will show you that kids that like to learn will do better, like kids who feel enthusiastic about it. And a lot of times there's a direct correlation between learning and enthusiasm about learning, that kind of like curiosity, and confidence. So when a child feels more confident in their ability, so like if you have a kid who is, if it's like the end of the kindergarten year, and most kids at the end of kindergarten are reading decently, or at least they hope they are. It's okay if they're not, it really is. It's okay if they're not, but most are. So the kids who aren't though, like a lot of times like it makes, even though they're doing fine and they're gonna learn how to read and it's really okay. We as adults know it's okay. They're gonna get there. But that kid, sometimes that makes them feel like, makes them feel bad. And then they get nervous about it and then they don't do as well. And there's like a whole bunch about the psychology of that you guys can kind of Google for yourself, like, or go ask a teacher about. But anyway, but based on that, you know, I think it's important. That's part of why we're kind of pushing Grayson nicely. We're not over strict about it, but we really want him to be a little bit further along in his reading when he starts kindergarten, because I know my son, and I know that he has a little bit of an issue with confidence. And I think if he felt like he was good at something, that would make him feel better, feel more confident, and then that would roll over into his schoolwork. And so yeah, I think that's just something to remember. You know, maybe that'll help you, maybe it won't, but that's kind of my take on things, and that's based on like just what I've seen. I was also a substitute teacher, a permanent sub actually for part of the time for kindergartners, and so I have for 2 years, and so I actually have some experience with like kids, not just my own, at that exact age kind of reading and everything. And yeah, like I just think like having your kids be excited about it, helping them along, kind of giving them a confidence that they are smart, they're gonna figure it out, and if they don't figure it out, it's okay, because we can figure it out, you know? And so yeah, so those are the resources. Like I said, most important resource I think, in my opinion, is your time, which I know is precious. Time is hard to give, but if you put the time in with your kid, I think you'll see the results. And yeah, there we go. So those are our resources that we use. Nothing exciting, nothing special. And if you watch the vlogs, you know my kids are doing a really great job with things. And so We're not doing anything magical. There's probably people out there who have a really awesome curriculum they could share with you, even for like a 3-year-old. We don't. What we're doing though is working really well for us, so I thought I would share. And I'm sorry it took me so long to do this video. I kept meaning to and I just didn't, but I'm glad I did it now. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna put the videos about our school and our feelings and what we're gonna do about all that below. All right, bye guys.